Students, from today we are going to study the first paper. In this paper, as I told you in the last video, we have to study first of all the poetical forms. Poetical forms. The types of the poetical forms prescribed to you are the lyric, second, the sonnet, third, elegy, and ode. These four types of poetry, the forms and their examples we are going to study. First of all, we will start with lyric. What is a lyric? We will see first of all its origin. We will try to understand its origin. Then we will try to understand the music element in a lyric. What the role music performs in lyric. And next we will understand what typically subject matters are used for a lyric. And the next is the structure. What is particular or general structure of a lyric. In fact, lyric means in Marathi we call it गीत, गाणे, छोटंसं गाणं. It is called as lyric. Generally, when we listen a song from a movie, at that time this used to happen in your childhood. We used to listen the song. We do not understand the words, but still we used to recite the songs. We sing the song without understanding the words because there is a kind of music in that. There is a kind of interest in that. And because of that, we used to recite that. We used to sing that without understanding the words. Lyric is the same one. If we notice the names, the titles of that movie, there is one title that is called as lyricist. Lyricist means the person who has written the songs for that music. And these songs are not quite big song or lengthy songs. These are very small songs, which there are 2 or 3 stanzas in each of these songs. The lyric is the same one. It originated, first of all, its origin is in Greece. Generally, most of the literature is written in Rome and Greece. And this literature is called as ancient literature. Ancient literature. Ancient means in Marathi we call it Prachin. Prachin Wangmay. British literature is not ancient literature. British literature is not ancient literature. Greek literature and Roman literature, these are the ancient literature. This lyric, first of all, it was originated in Greek. The song, it was divided into there were two types of lyrics. 2 types of song. In Greek, there were 2 classes of song. The first one was melic or the lyric song, and the second one was choric song. This was the second type. There were 2 classes. The first was the melic song and the second was the choric song. From this word choric there came chorus. There came chorus. Chorus means a group song. Group song is called as chorus. These two types of songs were there in Greek literature. Two classes, Melic and Choric. The Melic type of song was the one which was sung by a single voice, a single person, to the accompaniment of a lyre. Lyre means a type of musical instrument. Whereas choric song was the one which was intended for collective singing. Collective singing means group singing. Group singing. People singing in a group. That was a choric. And Melic song was the one where only one person, a single person, only one person used to sing that song. And this collective singing was accompanied by instrument of music and supplemented by a dance. So this is the basic difference. In a choric song, choric song is a group song, group singing. Melic and choric. Melic song was the one where only one singer used to sing that song, whereas the choric was the one where it was sung in group. One lyre means one musical instrument, single musical instrument was accompanying the singer. Musical instrument accompanies the singer, whereas here this group song was accompanied by other musical instruments. And also there was a group dance. So these were two classes of Greek song, and from this came the lyric. From the first category came the lyric. Okay. True to its Greek origin, it still has, we have to read from here, the first of these division is responsible for lyric. As we know it is in English verse. It is true to its Greek origin. It still has the two characteristics. What are the two characteristics? As I mentioned earlier on the board, what are these two characteristics? One, it is an expression of the single emotion, and it's a musical composition. Okay, these are the two important characteristics of the Greek lyric, and which are still there in the English lyric. Okay, English lyric. What is the first characteristic? The first characteristic was it is an expression of single emotion. And second characteristic, it is a musical composition. It's a music means the words themselves, they have the musical expression of their own. Okay, next, the music component in the lyric, that is very important. Music component. In ancient times, music provided by the okay, this is repeated here. Minstrel's harp or lyre. To the lyric, music is provided by the harp or the lyre. These are the basic musical instruments available to the ancient people. Formed an internal external accompaniment. The word is very important here. Formed an external accompaniment accompaniment means सोबत देणे, साथ देणे. External accompaniment to a lyric. These were unpolished, unrefined, rough lyrics. Rough means the language was not soft language, too soft for the ears. The language of the song was unpolished, and that's why it was made musical. As the language was unpolished, it has to be accompanied by the musical instrument or the music of the singer, keeping tune with the sound of the instrument. As it was unpolished, the music has to be provided through the voice of the singer, and it has to keep pace with the sound of the instrument. Okay. Here, musical instrument was very important. But later on, what happened? Later on, music of its own, the internal, here the word external is external is to be noted, because later on internal music came to surface. Okay, internal music came to surface. External means some musical instrument such as harp or the lyre was used, and the musical voice of the singer was also very important there, because the language was unpolished, it was not refined. Further, the subject matter of the lyric was not that much important. It was of little importance. It was not important at all, as long as the singer's voice could give it right emotional effect. So, in this earlier stage, the music of the external music of the lyric was more important. The external music and the voice of the singer, these are the important thing. What are the characteristics now of a lyric? We understood earlier. Okay, earlier lyric, it was unpolished. Unpolished means use of words was not polished. Second, singer has to make it musical, and musical instrument needs to be accompanied. It has to be accompanied by musical instrument. The subject matter म्हणजे त्याचा जो कंटेंट आहे, सब्जेक्ट मॅटर म्हणजे त्यातली जी थीम आहे, त्यात म्हणजे मूळ त्याचा जो विषय आहे, दॅट इज कॉल्ड सब्जेक्ट मॅटर. द सब्जेक्ट मॅटर वॉज ऑल्सो ऑफ लेस इम्पॉर्टंट. सब्जेक्ट मॅटर लेस इम्पॉर्टंट. This was for the earlier lyric. Now what happened? As the days passed, this lyric became sophisticated. What happened? Later ages discovered the rhythmic possibilities of the words. Later ages means after a few centuries or few years, there were found the musical possibilities of the internal, here the word in this context external music was important. But in the later ages, what happened? The internal music of the word was invented. Means poet realized that the word themselves could be musical, The choice of the word should be made. Choice of the word for a lyric was such that they had meaning suitable for that poem or the song, as well as they had some music of their own. They had some music of their own. There are certain words. Those words could be used as those words. They might have some internal music. What kind of internal music? Such as rhyme, rhythm, onomatopoeia. There were some figures of speech that was began to be used in by this choice of the words. Later ages discovered the rhythmic possibilities of the words, unassisted by the music. External music was dropped. The Elizabethan means the age of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. It began from 1558, okay, onwards. The Elizabethans in particular were past masters of the art of investing words with the highest musical quality. The term, this is the, look at the words choice of the past master, means they were the masters. They were highly able to use the words with highest musical quality. Use the words with highest musical quality. Now you might have come across the word you. Okay, we use the word you, and for this word we also use the. We also use the. It has the same meaning, but this word is most particularly used for poetry. This, if this word is suitable, they use this word. If this word is suitable, they use this word. Is as per the requirement of that line for the music, they use the different words. So they were, in that regard, in that context, they were the masters. Master means the person who has the highest capability of doing, who has the control, or who has greatest accomplishment of that particular thing. Masters of the art of investing words, use of words with highest musical quality. Their lyrics are unrivaled. Unrivaled means it was not to be compared with anybody. It was, means there was nobody to write to of that quality. Unrivaled for the word music. It's important. The phrase is important. Word music or verbal melody. Melody, a song, means a particular rhythmic song. There were the words. The words themselves gave a musical component to the lyric. In earlier case, the voice of the singer and the external instrument, these two things gave the lyric some kind of significance. But later on, in the later ages, what happened? The vowels and consonants are so artistically used that it composed the music of its own. It was without any kind of help. Aid means help of a musical instrument, and it was closely studied and developed in the later times by such poets as Keats, Shelley, Tennyson, Swinburne. These are the poets. These two are the romantic poets. This is the Victorian poet. So these poets, they developed the skill. what happens after a few years, few days, there comes the refinement. The earlier lyric was such, it was not refined, it was not refined in the context that the words were not quite musical in the lyric that was written. But later on, the poet chose the words which are both, what they are. The poet chose the words, choice of the words, what choice of the words for the lyric. What kind of choice was that? The words were chosen which were meaningful and which were musical. Earlier, the words were not that much meaningful. In earlier lyric, words were not meaningful. These were instead of saying meaningful, meaningless, they were not that much meaningful, and the words were not also musical. In this was in the earlier type of lyric. But in the refined, in the present day, or in the Elizabethan age, in the Romantic age, the words chosen of the lyric were meaningful as well as they had the music of their own. Okay, understood? This was means music in the lyric was very important. Music of the words themselves. Now, what is the subject matter? We will come to the subject matter. Subject matter of a lyric is, it was an expression to a single emotion or feeling. Expression to the single emotion or feeling. Many poems are lengthy poems, long poems. Poetry, there are various different types of poems. Some poems are short, which we are studying now, a lyric, a sonnet. These express a single emotion, single feeling. So one particular thought or one particular feeling is there, only one feeling. You might have heard about the poem of Wordsworth, Daffodils. In Daffodils, the poet only tells us about the flowers daffodils, nothing else. So in a lyric is a short poem. That's why it gives a space for only a single emotion or single feeling. It appeals more to the heart than to the intellect. It appeals more to the heart means emotions. Intellect means thoughts. Something which is not that much thoughtful but it is emotional, that is included in the lyric. It appeals more to the heart than to the intellect. Or to be more precise, it appeal to the intellect is through the heart. Its appeal to the intellect is through the heart, means it used to touch your feelings. It used to touch the heart. Just as the song we sing are usually not very lengthy, so a lyric poem is as a rule quite brief. Brief means choti, small space. When we choose the lyric form, the poet does not intend to make any long flight. He wishes to convey his impression swiftly, memorably, and musically. A small poem. Okay. So the subject matter of the lyric is a short one. The poet Edgar Allan Poe, American poet, he tells us that the degree of excitement that which would entitle a poem to be so called at all cannot be sustained through a composition of any great length. That means a single emotion cannot be lengthened in a lyric, in a poem like lyric. It has to be short. The single emotion has to be expressed in a short space, and that's why lyric is suitable for that, or for lyric single emotion is suitable, vice versa. Thus the term lyric is usually understood to cover what it covers, to cover the song or the ode or the sonnet and such poems as in definition given by Palgrave. What he says, turn on some single thought, feeling and situation. It is a subjective poem which is very short, such as an ode, a sonnet or a song. So the lyric is a very short poem having a single thought of with the music of its own. Now what is the structure of the poem? What kind of structure of the poem it could be? Okay. Now we have seen what we have seen. The first of all, where the lyric originated. Second, what is the musical component of the lyric, and third, what is the subject matter of the lyric. Now structure means how it is written. These are the lines. A short lyric it is. These are the first one stanza. This is the second last stanza. This is the means if it is written in 4, 5 or 6 stanzas, this is the structure. How many stanzas it is written in? As it is a short song, it may be in 4 to 6 stanzas. The first stanza introduces the theme, the last stanza concludes the theme, and the remaining in the middle stanzas they develop the theme. The first stanza introduces a theme or emotion. The remaining in middle stanzas they develop the theme. This introduces the theme, the emotion. These middle stanzas develop the theme, and the last stanza concludes the theme, concludes the emotion of that lyric. Okay, what is written here? We'll see. The first part, which is generally consists of the first few lines or at most of the first stanza, states the emotion. It introduces the emotion or the subject of that lyric. And second part, which is the form of bulk of the poem, consists of, bulk means major part of the poem. Bulk means major part of the poem. Consists of the thought suggested by the emotion. Means it develops that what is stated in the first stanza. What is stated in the first stanza is developed in the remaining stanza. And the last stanza, the final part, which is almost as short as the first, means it is as short as the first, usually comprises, makes the poet's return to the initial mood. It concludes the poem. It is a short form. Okay. So this is a typical structure of the lyric. Now what you have to remember? You have to remember only these things. It's very important to notice down. Lyric can be summed up like this. म्हणजे त्याचं थोडक्यात सार जर म्हणतो आपण, तो सार कसा आहे पहा. लिरिक म्हणजे काय? इट इज अ शॉर्ट पोएम डीलिंग विथ अ सिंगल इमोशन. म्हणजे हे एक छोटंसं गीत आहे, एक सॉन्ग आहे की ज्यामध्ये एकच भावना, एकाच प्रकारची भावना व्यक्त केली जाते. इट इज अ शॉर्ट पोएम डीलिंग विथ अ सिंगल इमोशन. सेकंड कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ लिरिक इज इट इज अ म्युझिकल पोएम. म्हणजे त्यामध्ये स्वतःचं इंटरनल म्युझिक असतं, शब्दांच्या द्वारे व्यक्त होणारं. इट इज अ म्युझिकल पोएम, अ वर्ड म्युझिक बिंग इम्पॉर्टंट एलिमेंट इन इट्स इफेक्ट. वर्ड म्युझिक, शब्दांचं जो संगीत आहे ते. देन इट इज अ सब्जेक्टिव्ह पोएम. सब्जेक्टिव्ह मीन्स रिलेटेड टू द इमोशन ऑफ द पोएट, expressing the varying mood of the author or the poet. And the third, it's a well knit poem. Well knit means knitting, means विणणे. आता या ठिकाणी कंपोज करणे म्हणजे रचणे अशा अर्थाने. इट्स अ वेल knit poem possessing a definite structure. The division द डिव्हिजन इंटू 3 पार्ट्स. ओके, म्हणजे फर्स्ट स्टॅन्झा इंट्रोडक्शन, मिडल पार्ट discussion or the development of thought, and the last stanza conclusion. So these are the characteristics of a lyric. You have to memorize this. हे पाठ करायला पाहिजे तुम्ही. छोटंसं आहे, हे पाठ करा. याच्यावर तुम्ही लिहिलात तुम्हाला 5 मार्क पडतील. म्हणजे 10 मार्काला आहे. प्रश्नाचं स्वरूप कसं येईल आणखीन अद्याप आलेलं नाही आहे, त्यावरून आपण नंतर पाहू. परंतु हे 5 मार्काला असू शकतं. सो यू हॅव टू मेमराइज दिस. ओके, सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. थँक्यू.